Hi, what's going on, y'all? This is another episode of me recapping what happened during the Dana White Contender series. No intro for you guys because I gotta go to work tomorrow, but you're not here for that. You're here for the fight recaps. And if you haven't watched any of these fights, I highly recommend you to do so, especially the later fights, which we'll talk about because they were some absolutely nasty knockouts on this card. But I'm gonna go over every single fight regardless. Overall, I gotta say, not many two criticisms from me. All right, I'm not really gonna talk shit about any fighter necessarily, but I'm just gonna get right into it. Starting off with Carol Foro versus Chanelli de Dier. I'm definitely sure I'm butchering those pronunciations, but yeah, we're gonna move on regardless. Carol Foro, she actually looked really good. She was doing a very good job of pressuring the air, and the air really couldn't get her pace, and she couldn't really land effectively until the third round because every time she tried to plant her feet and like throw something hard, Carol Foro did a good job of stepping in and then dropping Chanel Dier. I think like three times in the first round, and then once in the second round. Wobbled her a couple of times with the right hand as well. And what I really like about Carol Foro though is she didn't rush for the finish, right? You see a lot of like lower level fighters that do that. Like they just like, oh, I dropped my opponent. Now I gotta go ballistic retard mode. Yeah, Caro Foro, she actually tried to get the finish in an educated way, and even though she didn't get it, you know what? I'll say this: Chanel Dyer is a very good prospect in the strawweight division. Right? She's hella tough, and in the third round, she was outpacing Calaforo. Fortunately for Calaforo, she did enough in the first two rounds, and in the third round, yeah, Chanel Dyer was starting to pick back up the pace, but Foro was able to block majority of the head kicks. She was trying to stay forward. She was still landing some shots. It was pretty competitive in the third round, but I thought Dier landed more shots. But no question about it. First two rounds, Carol Foro won because she dropped Dier in a very nasty knockouts. Like I was shocked that Chanel did not get knocked out in the first round because the way she went down and how hard Carol Fur was hitting her, like I thought Dier was gonna be finished. But hats off to Dier for sticking through and even pushing to win in the third round. And hats off to Carol Foro for putting on an entertaining fight. All right. Both of these girls got their UFC contracts. I think it was a little bit much for Dier because she did technically lose, but she is good, and I would have suggested her to like come back like what a few weeks later, maybe next season, and then just try to get into contract from there. But hey, I think she was eventually gonna get into the UFC anyways. And as for Carol Foro, I'm really excited about what she can do. She's in the prime of her career. And I think I don't know if she says she's gonna be active, like she said, like fighting Abu Dhabi. Yeah, was it Abu Dhabi? I forget. Yeah, was it Abu Dhabi or New York? All right. If she can get one of those two cards, then I think Carol Foro is going to be a very special talent in the women's strawweight division. All right, now moving on, we got Samuel Sanchez versus Chasen Blair. Now, Samuel Sanchez, Jesus Christ, that was absolutely nasty. Like, I wasn't glazing Chasen Blair, but I was like thinking, oh, this dude can actually grapple. And because the commentators were talking about how Sanchez is a primary striker and all that, I'm like, okay, maybe Blair can actually do something here. But no, what I really liked was his jujitsu defense. Like, I believe Chase and Blair had the back at one point, was trying to climb up Samuel Sanchez, but Sanchez did a very good job of peeling off the hooks, standing tall and making sure that Chasen Blair couldn't put his weight on him properly. And once the hooks were off and they were in the clinch, Sanchez proceeds to unleash some nasty body combinations. Like, if this was like best KO of the night, I would have been completely satisfied. But we gotta talk about the later fights because holy crap, those unfortunately stole the show. But hats off to Samuel Sanchez. All right, it was still a wicked knockout, and I think he's gonna be very good. What is he fighting at? Lightweight? Maybe not. Lightweight is a little bit tough, but hey, you never know with these guys because a lot of these guys they're just like hidden gems out here, and who knows? This guy might go on a run to become like top 15 ish. All right, maybe that'll happen. Do I doubt it? Like, kind of. It is a little bit early to tell, but from what I'm seeing, Samuel Sanchez clearly has the talent to potentially make a run in the lightweight division, at least to the rankings. All right, now up next, we got Freddie Vidal versus Felipe Franco. What to say about this fight? Yeah, so 14 minutes of this fight was pretty bad. Yeah, like, I have no idea how Freddie Vidal came in that blobby. Like, I understand that he came in on what, 6 days notice, but despite being what, like 4 pounds overweight, he looked like a complete blob, whereas Felipe Franco looked like a complete juice head monster. Despite this, however, Vidal was able to push the pace a lot better than Felipe Franco, and Freddie Vidal was ultimately able to get a reversal in the third round and submit Felipe Franco with a rear naked choke. Not gonna lie, I thought he fumbled that rear naked choke because Felipe Franco kind of fell on top of Freddie Vidal. And yeah, you're not really supposed to do that when you're trying to go for a rear naked choke, but he still got it. So I guess hats off to Freddie Vidal for coming in on short notice and winning. Dana White didn't give him a contract. Instead, they told him, "Oh yeah, you could come in on the last episode. We'll find you opponent." And I don't know. I do hope he can get a contract. From what I'm seeing, like even though he doesn't look the best, he does try to make an entertaining fight. All right. Will this pan out well in the UFC? Hard to say, but at the same time, the light heavyweight division is absolutely garbage. So we do need some new prospects. And from what I'm seeing, although Vidal doesn't look the best, and I kind of would pick a lot of light heavyweight fighters to beat Freddie Vidal right now. Maybe on a full training camp, he'll look completely different, and he'll actually look in shape. And I don't know. There's some potential in Freddie Vidal, so I'll keep an eye on him when he fights on the Dana White Contender Series again. All right, moving on. Leron Douglas versus Cam Teague. Nasty knockout from Leron Douglas. He dropped Cam Teague badly with a right hand into a left hook, and then he started chasing Cam Teague up against the fence. And this was like what 15 seconds, 20 seconds. I don't know. It was very early into the fight. And before you know it, Cam Teague's backed up into the fence, but he has his hands down, and Leron Douglas was able to just time the left hook and put Cam Teague out cold. Right? Brutal knockout. And the thing was, Cam Teague, he was trying to pressure the entire time, I believe, prior to getting dropped. And Leron Douglas, I think he said in the post-fight interview, he didn't really look for the knockout necessarily. He just landed the shot because he thought it was open. So that tells me this dude's got some wicked power in his hands. And I think that this guy can be a potential star, like the next Brazilian star in MMA right now. All right, this guy gets wicked highlight reel KOs. All right, he's been doing this in the regional scene as well. And most importantly, though, he speaks English very well. All right. That's super important in a lot of Brazilian fighters. The ones that do, while getting good performances, typically get promoted a lot by the UFC. So I'm very interested to see Leron Douglas fight soon. All right. Get him on the Sao Paulo card in October. All right. I want to see this guy fight some schmuck. I don't care who the UFC has to bring along for it to be a sacrificial lamb. But I want to see Leron Douglas fight very soon. All right. I think he is the best prospect that's come out of this week's Dana White Contender Series right now. And last but not least, we got Steven Aspond versus Anthony Gracio. I don't know how to pronounce that name either. But, anyways, it doesn't matter. Steven Aspond, these guys were just swinging in the pocket, and Aspond just caught him with a nasty, and I mean nasty left hook. And Gracio, like, he just dropped, and from there, Steven Aspel hounded him like a dog, destroyed him. And I'm gonna be real, when this guy said he was Fat Holloway, I was just kind of laughing about that. I didn't really take this guy too seriously, but after watching his fight and watching his post-fight interview, and I don't know, it was a very touching post-fight interview. I'll say that. All right. But anyways, what I was gonna say though is I think the UFC heavyweight division has this next contender to look forward to. All right, I think Steven Aspel has what it takes to get into the rankings at least. And from there, it's just a matter of like how good is he really? All right. I think Steven Aspel, I don't know, he just needs to kind of just lose the excess skin a little bit. Like he is what he was formerly 500 something pounds before cutting down to 265. That alone is absolutely crazy. But to top it off, he's a wicked fighter. He's so funny on the mic. Uh, I don't know. I just think he's a very fun personality to have, especially in the division like heavyweight, where we have zero personality in that division whatsoever. So I want to see Steven Aspond. I don't know. Give him a few months. Just let him get into shape, and I want to see him just I don't know, just take on like some fat blobs, knock them out in the first round, and then give him like Sergey Spivak or something along those lines. I think Steven Aspinall's very good, and I hope to see him in the rankings of the heavyweight division sometime in the future. If you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to like and subscribe so I can get this channel monetized. But other than that, though, let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought about this season of the Dana White Contender Series. But yeah, other than that, though, I'm going to bed. I have work tomorrow, so I'll see you guys later. Peace.